Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I had my first Shopify sale, but I messed it up. I'm going to tell you what happened. Let's launch this Reseller Rowboat. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth. I'm glad you're here for another Rock and Talk where I talk about eBay, Poshmark, and Shopify. I recap my week, and so let's go ahead and get started with eBay real quick. I am down, 11.2% from May. But I'm not upset about that, and I'm going to tell you why. Let me fix my hair. I just got out of the shower. This is real life. It's 7 o'clock at night, and I'm just now getting to my shower. It's been a day. I'm not upset about my number being down 11 point, whatever did I say, 2%, because my 7-day total is $1,261, which is in the range that I like to be in. I've already paid my bills for July, and today is June 27th, and I actually paid them about 3 days ago. So anything I made from then until the end of June is going to go straight into savings. And I even paid my quarterly taxes with that. So I'm good. Didn't expect to exceed May at all. I definitely felt the slowdown. When I talked to you last week, I had parted out 5 vacuum cleaners. I've sold 2 parts from those vacuum cleaners so far, and as I suspected, the first one to sell was a battery. So, and some of those just got listed a few days ago because they were in my drafts. So eBay's just eBay, and I'm just working as hard as I can. I've had a really, really long week. I needed to get a lot of drafts in the bank because I was out of town, and so most of those drafts are used up, so I got to start over. I actually let my boss know today that I was going to be working from home because I'm just wiped out. I think Janya may be running a fever, and so I was just like, can I just work from home tomorrow? And I overslept, and it was a good thing I did because my body, I still feel like I'm fighting something off. You know, tomorrow we want to swim if it doesn't rain, and Sunday. So Poshmark, I don't really have anything to say other than I'm getting approximately 1 sale a day, which is actually more than I was getting before. So I'm going to continue doing silent auctions via Sidekick tools. If you're interested in doing Poshmark silent auctions and you don't want to be present, you can try Sidekick tools by using my referral code below, and you get a 7-day trial period. If you have a cross-listing program right now and can provide a receipt from last month, you can get a 30-day free trial. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to do Posh Sidekick. I'm going to give it a couple of more months and just see if these silent auctions are helping. And Poshmark is actually ending some of my auctions early, and sometimes they're not even starting them, and that's a Poshmark issue. That's not a Sidekick Tools issue. Evidently Poshmark has a certain number of silent auctions that they want run at a time, and I usually run mine for 3 hours. I'm finding that they're running for about 30 to 45 minutes and shutting off in the middle, or they're just not starting at all. So unfortunately, and there's nothing I can do about that. What I mainly want to talk about tonight is my first Shopify sale. Guys, I was sitting on the couch and I hear this cash register sound from my phone. It's very different than the eBay cha-ching. It sounds more like a cash register drawer going out, and I'm like, is that what I think it is? Is that a sale? Is that my first Shopify sale? And it was. So I was so excited. I mean, big smile on my face, and I went to Shopify and I noticed that it was a pair of LuLaRoe jeans that sold. Now, I had 2 pair of LuLaRoe jeans that I listed a couple of weeks ago. They were the same size, and I looked and she had bought a pair of capri jeans, and I was like, oh no, I sold those already. I sold those on eBay. And I went over, and sure enough, they had not been taken off of Poshmark. They had not been taken off of Shopify. And I think what I did was, because I went into eBay, it was June 11th when I sold these jeans, and I did like 5 items above it and 5 items below it. All of those have been taken off. So I'm thinking what I did, and I've caught myself doing this. If you have List Perfectly, let me know about this. But when you sell something and you take it off of another platform, you have to hit save. And I'm caught myself a couple of times getting out of the window before I click save. And if I did that, yes, it would have taken them off of Poshmark and Shopify, but it would have shown that it was still on eBay and it wasn't sold. And then when I saw that it wasn't sold, I would have reposted it to Shopify and Poshmark, and I'm kind of suspecting that's what I did. Luckily, my sweet longtime supporter of this channel, Valerie, is the one who took poor pity on this old woman who had not had my first sale for 2.5 months, and took a look around my store and bought these jeans. Now, I was just dreading emailing her to tell her that I had screwed up. I was so embarrassed, and as a seller, as a person, I was just so embarrassed. And she was so gracious to me, and she's like, no problem, we all make mistakes. I'm like, yeah, but this is like my first sale, okay? But it ended up being kind of a blessing that it was somebody that I knew. Number one, she was gracious about it. She didn't get upset about it. I just told her, I think these jeans cost like $16.49 plus shipping. And so I said, hey, go pick out, 2 $10 items, or something like that, and I'll send those instead. It doesn't have to be exactly $16.49, or you can cancel the order. I was secretly hoping she wouldn't cancel the order because I wanted to practice, okay? I didn't even know what it looks like on your Shopify page when you have an order. Like, I've been on Shopify many times, and I go over to orders and click it because I'm like, is it going to give me a check mark? Is it going to give me a green something up there? What is it going to do if I get an order? I don't want to miss an order, right? And I go over to orders, 0. So what it does is it puts a little 1 next to orders, and so that was awesome. And then I had to ship the items, and I was able to put the tracking number in from Pirate Ship, no problem, and it took it and it worked, and then it told me when the sale was fulfilled. And so I told you guys that when I got my first order, and again, Valerie, thank you so much for being so gracious and for buying from me. I really appreciate it. All right, so I told you guys that when I got my first sale, I was going to look and see where I got my sale from, and I was going to double, triple down on that, right? And this is a really cool thing about Shopify. It told me that Valerie found me on YouTube and that she clicked my link. That's where she came from. That's awesome. That was great information to have. It even told me that she had been to my store before, like maybe looking around a couple of times. I think it even told me the date range of when she had been there before. That's great information to know. So I'm like, okay, so this person found me on YouTube, clicked on the link. How can I double down on YouTube, right? And so I had this idea, and I'm going to tell you what it is, and I want your honest opinions. I mean, you can comment below and you can tell me, Beth, I think this idea sucks, okay? I've had 2 friends tell me, maybe 3 friends tell me they think it's a good idea. So let me tell you what happened. So Tuesday night, I had a haul video on my new channel, which is linked below, and I also streamed it simultaneously on my Facebook page, which is linked below. So I set up the show to start at 8 p.m. and I had put my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, put my thumbnail, everything was great. It's 8 p.m. time for me to go live. I hit live and it says, oh, you can't stream to 2 destinations unless you pay for an upgrade plan. All right. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, I might have people sitting there in the live stream waiting for me to start. I don't know that. And I'm not going to take the time to research how much this is going to cost me. Plus, I'm going to have to go get my credit card. And plus, I already have a paid StreamYard plan. The only reason I started this new StreamYard was because my old StreamYard wasn't taking the new channel. And so I thought, well, maybe there's a limit. So I started a new account. And so I basically had to cancel the live stream. I had to cut the link. And then I just went live on YouTube, but I think it cut the link. So anybody who clicked my link on any of my Facebook posts, Instagram posts, it didn't work. Consequently, I had 0 people in the live stream. I haven't gone back to look to see if anybody even watched it. I don't know. So what I thought before this happened, I had this idea. I was like, okay, YouTube is another way of promoting. So I developed an invitation to put in my packages. And it says, I want to read it to you. It says, you're invited. Sneak peeks at arriving inventory before it is listed. Watch me weekly live on YouTube and it has my link. There will be a link to each show on my Facebook page at Facebook link. Now before it said, or you can watch me on Facebook, all right? You can see the items up close, ask questions such as measurements and material content. So you will be notified when I go live on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for all notifications. For Facebook, simply hit the like button top right. I hope to see you there. And then I sign my name, Beth. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm asking customers if they want to see what's coming into my store ahead of time, get a sneak peek. They can go to my YouTube channel or my Facebook page. So for right now, I'm just going to put a link to the YouTube video. But I think what I'm going to do is this week, I'm going to do a test live stream from my original StreamYard paid version and try to go live on my new channel and my Facebook page, go live, and then see if it gives me my Reseller Rowboat logo at the top. I don't think it will. I think it will give me my 10 of Hearts store logo, but I can't be sure. And I sure don't want to sit there for 30 minutes with that Reseller Rowboat logo up there. I don't want my customers coming over here and watching videos of me complaining about customers and platforms. That is not cool. So let me know what you think below about this idea. You know, I was talking to a friend because AI is out there everywhere and a lot of people like it. There are a lot of consumers who don't like AI because it's not very personal and they feel like they're being treated like a number. So when I ship a package, I have a little blurb that I send them before I ship it. And it says, you know, thank you for supporting my small family business. If there's any issues with this item, please let me know as soon as possible and I'll take care of it. Thank you. And I get so many messages back saying, I didn't know you were a family business. I didn't know you were a small business. This is really good to know. I like to support family businesses. And then I usually reply again and say thank you or you're welcome. I want them to know that I'm not AI, that I'm not a computer, that I'm a real person. And I think inviting them to my live streams to see the clothes, or they can watch later. Maybe I should have put that on here, or you can watch later. Will make it more personal. You know, whenever I watch Josh Galt and he talks about this community that he's building, well, I have been talking for about a year about how I want to develop a community of women who love plus size clothing, who love fashion, and what better way than to develop a community than to invite them in and let them be a part of live streams. You know, who knows, they might be like Gina and Rita on this channel, some of my OGs, and stick with me forever and can say to other people, I've ordered from Beth. I can tell you she's a very conscientious seller. I've been happy with her items and her service. That's going to do nothing but help my business, and they can make friends. And you know, there are a lot of people right now out there still after the pandemic who are having to cultivate new friendships. And so what better way to do that? So those are just some of my reasons I want to do this. If it doesn't work, I'll just stop putting these in my packages. But again, I think I might add on here or watch the recording later, because some people don't know how YouTube works. And that's the other reason why I wanted to go on Facebook Live, because there are a lot of people who don't use YouTube. They're more comfortable with Facebook. If they come over to my YouTube channel and it says, in order to comment, you have to subscribe for 5 minutes, that could throw people off, and they could just, I don't want to subscribe to anything, So I really am pushing for this to be streamed on Facebook. I may even pay for it. If I have to pay a second time, I may go ahead and pay for it. I don't know. I got to think about that. It's a lot of money. But anyway, that's just my idea. And I got my car back today. Let's talk about a personal stuff. I got my car back today. I didn't have to pay anything. It was something that they did to it a few weeks ago. It has something to do with the new battery that they replaced. They just ran it through the computer, restarted it, and the check engine light went away. I'm going to tell you, when I took it in Wednesday, I asked for a rental car. I told them I really needed a rental car. I get there, and the lady has me sign the paperwork, and she says, okay, let's go take a look at the truck. And I said, excuse me, truck? And she said, yeah, truck. Let's go look at the truck. And I'm thinking, oh, God, I hope it's a little truck, because, guys, you don't want to see me drive anything bigger than a Bronco Sport. Trust me. We get out there, it's a Ford F-150. The thing is huge. You have to step up onto another step and then another step just to get into the thing. It's like a monster. And I looked at her and I said, I don't think this is a good idea. And she's like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And I'm like, okay. And so I drive it home. I'm petrified. I had a panic attack. I get home. I'm upset. I need to go to the post office. So, I get my packages together, and I tell my wife, I say, oh, I couldn't even park it under the carport. It wouldn't fit. There's no way we could have gotten the door open. So I tell my wife, I said, you know what? I'm going to take your car to the post office. I don't feel comfortable parking this thing in a parking lot. She's like, okay. So I get in her car, and I'm backing it out, and the rear view mirror or the side mirror is going to hit the pole of the carport. And I kept going forward and backward and forward and backward. And I just could not back out, and I was so upset, and I guess I hadn't calmed down enough from the panic attack, and so I just came in and I was mad. I just said, when you have lunch, please back your car out, and I'm just so upset. And she went out there and she goes, Beth, you had it. It was going to clear. I said, no, I don't think it was going to clear. So when I got back from the post office, I had to leave that night to go to my parents out of town, and Janie's like, you know what? She goes, you're just going to have to drive my car to your parents. She says, you're just too upset about this. So she goes, call the guy. So I called the guy at the dealership, and I said, look, I can't drive this truck. If you get another rental car in, please call me. And he's like, he goes, let me tell you about parking lots. He goes, all you got to do is back it in. Just back it in and it'll be fine. I said, sir, I didn't even back my Focus in. Okay, you don't want to see me back this in. I'm going to damage your truck. And so it sat there for 2 days, 3 full days. And they called me today. And when I took it back, you're supposed to fill it up. And I said, look, I literally drove 12 miles, 6 miles to the home and 6 miles back. I didn't put any gas in it, and he agreed. He thought, it's kind of wild that they gave you a F-150. He said, but there probably wasn't anything else available, and so I'm cool. It was crazy. I'm trying to talk fast because I don't want this to be long. My mom's eye is healing very well. I just think that the doctor should have told her what to expect, because when I got there Wednesday, she was pretty upset, especially Thursday morning. She couldn't see very well, and she kept seeing this big line in her eye, and so she couldn't really see. and she was scared. She didn't know what was supposed to happen. We get there and he's like, oh, that's normal. He's like, the bubble is getting smaller, so you're seeing the edge of the bubble. And we're just like, well, that would have been really nice to tell us, you know, what to expect. So I said, is there anything else she should look for that she might see? And he goes, yeah. He goes, when the bubble eventually pops, it will pop into like individual little tiny bubbles, and so she may see a lot of different bubbles. And I'm like, that's good to know. You know, that's the kind of thing we need to know. So anyway, we went out for celebration at Cracker Barrel, and I went over my calories yesterday by probably 50 to 100, but I needed it, and I was wiped out, and next week's a new week, and now that I've got my car back, I don't know if I'm going to go to the thrift store or not. I may go look for some men's shirts and maybe some jeans or something, but anyway, that's about it. I wanted to make this short because my other videos have been so freaking long, and I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend, that your sales are great, better than mine, and don't forget to paddle on, because we are all in this business boat together. May God keep you in his pocket. Until next time, bye.